things occur in real time.
Hey everyone, I'm doing the 1 hour challenge, so I thought I'd make a super long video. The members have been requesting it, and maybe you guys will like it too. I'm gonna start this timer. It's pretty cool actually, you just spin it to adjust the time. 1 hour on the clock. We're counting down. So I'm gonna feed fish, gonna do what I normally do, and then we'll find out something else to film about. So this is the mess that I've got going on here in the fish room from moving. It's, you know, not the best. Got drills, got equipment, still got more stuff to do. There's food that you guys have seen. That's a big bag of Krill Flake Extreme Semi, which is pretty awesome. I guess technically sponsored, I have to say that. Yeah, just more foods that I've brought in over here, and other test products, all kinds of stuff.
What does that even mean? Like garbage?
Oh yeah, I guess the 280 gallon, we moved that. So that's what this is. This stand I need to wipe down. Maybe I'll do that today. I've been meaning to wipe down everything. It's like lots of dust here. Like I'll lick my finger and you guys can see. But yeah, you can see the amount of dust that needs to be cleaned off. This is sitting in my garage. This is a tank that Ladybird used to live in. 230 gallons, custom, so it's about 7 feet long. And then it's 30 inches front to back, and it's only like 2 feet tall. It's sitting here right now because I got to take out all the substrate and everything. I need to level the stand that's over here. So I've got lighting, we've got sound panels that I need to do, but this is the stand. You can kind of see it's got this, it's rosewood, and the cancer filter can go right down here where it used to be. It was an FX4, which I think is kicking around here somewhere. I lost a goldfish the other day, no reason why. In fact, the day before we filmed it on video and you guys saw it, and the next day I just came in and it was dead. There was no signs. Nothing stuck in its mouth. I tried to figure it out, I couldn't, so pretty bummed about that. I don't know what's, you know, I test the water, everything's fine. In this aquarium we have all the blue Silverado Endlers. So I still need to get plants. Plants need to propagate so much more. I'm gonna get food. I should be feeding while I do this. Should I do frozen? Should I do, no, I'll do, nano is my go-to at the moment for these types of fish. But one-handed nano, I'll just have to set down. There we go. If you don't own a stool like this in your fish room, you need one. A little like mechanics stool. So even this size fish, I'll feed the nano to, which I usually feed bigger stuff, but I'll usually put like a pinch in here, and they'll grub it on the ground and everything. And so, you know, I think about it more like it's like me eating chicken nuggets instead of trying to eat an entire chicken at once. So yeah, lots of snails in here. The snails usually, when they get to be too many, I feed them to the turtles, so that works out pretty nice. And these are the platies that I want to put, the Variatus I want to put into Ladybird's tank. The color on them is just so good, and the long fins you can kind of see there. I just love this fish. Yeah, they really do color up, and for some reason the cherry shrimp in here are the better ones too. They're nice and red on this guppy grass. I think I'm going to discontinue using guppy grass because it was really a pain to kind of catch the fish and everything with it. This is just empty, another empty. And then in here, what did I put in here? I'm trying to remember. I think these were just, let's see. I haven't filled out all the tags for them yet. I think these are just the normal Endlers that were with the turtles. So, as you guys know, I feed pretty heavy. Then over here, these are actually Xiphophorus Pygmaeus. And what does that mean? That means they are some Pygmy Swordtails. So there's not a whole lot of color on them. You might be able to see a little bit of color. We'll see if Jimmy can get some better B-roll or something for this. But I just got like 4 of them, so they're not even like a ton of them. So it's one of those situations that, like, well, we got to breed them out. That's the biggest demoralizing thing right now, is breeding stuff out. There's so many totes that are empty, and I've been searching on Aquabid, and I just cannot find good stuff to buy on Aquabid right now. I don't know if it's the pandemic. I don't know if it's I don't know what, but like the weather's nice. I was expecting like, all right, we're gonna load up on a bunch of nice species, the stuff I want. Like, don't buy it, I want it. Some trout goodeids from Greg Sage. He doesn't have any yet. Considering getting the knife Livebearer called Stratus, but I kind of want to order them both at the same time. I'm looking for some more platy types, that kind of stuff. And it's weird to have way more tanks than I do species of fish. So I'm on the lookout tough. I got some Variatus Corridoras coming. They're at the shop right now in quarantine, so they're a cool water Corridora. Technically not a Corridora, but they're basically a Corridora. I've read them before. They have the gold faces and everything. Really like those. I don't think there's anything in any of these. These are all just empties, including, you know, the ones underneath here. That's why I put the tank over here, because it's empty. And yeah, nothing in here. This is just some extra easy planters. I kept them wet just so if I need to jumpstart some bacteria anywhere. This is more Rosy Barbs. And the Rosy Barbs have really been picking the plants clean. So these used to be covered in algae, like hair algae. And now this is African fern or Bulbitis. There we go. So I'm going to do a lot with, well, not a lot, but it's a real slow growing plant and I really like the looks of it. And now that they've got it super clean, I've got some petite, Anubias nana petite here. It's been floating, so it wants some more fertilizer, but and then we've got some buces and stuff that I've had on a piece of wood for a long time at this point, but yeah, some buse and some more. But it was all kind of covered in algae during the move, and so now it'll be nice and clean for when you escape it. Now I gotta get my hands dry. Gotta get yourself an Aquarium Co-Op towel. My favorite. Alright, dry enough hand now. The males get really nice color on these Rosy Barbs, and they get about 4 inches long. They're not nearly that long at the moment, but the ones in Ladybird's tank are they're bigger. I just don't know if they're really attacking the clams, and so I'm worried they're gonna be too eager to eat, and Ladybird gets spooked. I'd go show you, I'll try at the end to see if I can get Ladybird to eat. Every time she sees a camera, she freaks out, so she's not used to the camera yet. These are Lyretail, see, I'm getting better. Lyretail, Japanese blue guppies. And there's some cherry shrimp in here. I still don't know, they're kind of nice fish, I kind of like them, but at the same time, I'm kind of over them. And they haven't produced a ton. I mean, they are making more, but it's not as much as I want. But for now, it's good. This is a fish I'm really trying to get more of. These are the blue-eyed Livebearer. They just hide in here the whole time. You can see them right down there. And I've only made 1 baby of them so far. So it's kind of disappointing. Just Anubias floating, just to make sure these are kind of ready for fish if I get them. Offering a little bit of cover. Got the black mollies. I've lost probably 3 or 4 of these over the last month or so, or since I've gotten them. Having a hard time putting weight on them. I'm feeding them a lot of bloodworms and that kind of stuff, but they just aren't putting the weight quite like I want. They came in kind of skinny, and so I've been feeding them quite a bit. I actually fed them so much I got ammonia nitrite going on in here, so I had to flush a ton of water. So you can see here I've been trying to propagate more and more Pogostemon stellatus octopus, and so you can see a lot of it. Well, I can do some teaching here. So I always say that stem plants you can grow floating, and so when you do, they always put the roots down, and you can kind of see that through here. You see all of these roots throughout this whole plant as it floats. So all I did was I went to the main plant I have over here with the blue-eyed, right? And I just go and I grab like a piece and I pinch it off. So I take something like that, and then I just go throw it into, like I threw one over there the other day. Oh no, I lost a platy, which that guy was on the floor, not the floor, I'm trying to think what to say, was on the ground not doing so well yesterday, but yeah, you can see him right there, dang it. So I'll remove him, but you just float it just like that and it'll start growing all the roots and everything out, and so that'll do that there. That's part of the maintenance. If there's any dead fish or anything like that, you got to remove them every day. Which when you start getting into like, oh, there's 10,000 plus fish, you're just going to have. Did that have a heart attack? Did it have a different issue internally? Did it overeat? Did it get attacked? Did it, So on average, I would say there's like 1 or 2 fish dead a day that I have to take care of. These are just assorted guppies. These go to the store and get sold in the assorted tank. It's lots of extra males from the stuff that I do breed. So especially once I moved, we ended up with a lot of males because I sorted through everything. So you can still see every once in a while I have something jump over. So like that's just an extra fish that should have been over there. And so that's why I try to alternate and make sure there's not crossbreeding going on. These are some of the, well, they originally started out as platinum ricefish. And now they're more of a white ricefish compared to the platinum ones we're getting into the store. I don't know if these have gotten worse or if the people working with them just got them better. These were always outside. These were in the tote that I never did anything to. I never water changed. I never fed. I basically never did anything. So I brought them inside for now before we set up anything outside because I've not done inside yet, so I don't need more outside ponds quite yet. I probably fed these guys too much. They're not great at eating off the bottom. I mean, they will, but I don't have any snails in here yet. So that's why I like snails. If you overfeed, snails will do it for you. Being that I was feeding kind of heavy in here, these guys started not liking life too much. And so I turned the auto feeder off, but now I can turn it back on. Let's see if that, I just want a little bit of pellets to come out. I need scotch tape. I keep meaning to order scotch tape so I can like cover half that. I'm trying to do like 1.5 click here. It's 2. I see 1.5. Let's try that. I'll hit the button. We'll see how many comes out. If there's way too many, I'll feed to something else. Yeah, it would have been a little much for what I want. They need like that much. And all the rest is still here. So I'll feed that. These are all swordtails here. They'll eat quite a bit, so I can, well, all but one. There's one platy in here too. Just growing them up before I take them to the store or have Robert pick them up. You can see some of the biggest ones there are more blue, but they have a little bit of orange on them. Dang it! That one import platy didn't make it. So typically what I do with a fish that doesn't make it is I'll feed it to the turtles. All the bones and everything is good for the turtles. So it can just stay in there, and diseases typically won't transfer, at least not that I've ever noticed. So I really like fish that have been in my care for a long time, because when I get fish imported, you always have more losses than if you were to breed them. And so that's why breeders will come up with like the saying of fish that have been in your water for 2 generations are bulletproof, and it's kind of true. Outside of moving, like when I wasn't moving, I would almost never lose fish. Like in my old fish room at the old house, I would never have to pull any dead fish. Here, this is going to be, 3 today? It sucks. Like, we make way more than 3 fish, so that's nice, but you still don't want to lose them. And once they get settled in where the generations are, really used to this new, harder water and all of that, I don't know. I don't really actually know what it is. It just happens. You got to see, like, all the fish in here are basically doing fine. We can test the water, and it was that one import fish, and so could it just not handle the water after a month? Is it, what's the cause there? Did it get beat up by one of the larger swordtails? It's hard to know. I almost forgot to adjust this right here. Let me adjust that too. We'll keep feeding though. So usually what I'll do is I'll feed and I come back because there's one molly in there that didn't make it. These guys eat so voraciously. I wonder if their red's going to get really, really, or orange or red or whatever you want to call it. It's going to intensify with the more krill I feed them. But yeah, you can see like that one in the middle is kind of more red than the others. Over here we've got, these are all the Dumbo ear panda guppies. So these, every time I stop keeping these, people want them at the store. If I breed them all the time, I make too many of them. So it's kind of a weird scenario of like, man, it seems like I always have too many of these, and then when I don't make them, everyone's clamoring for them. So these guys here, these are the gold dust mollies, as they call them. Still haven't done any sorting or anything like that. Put some food in. The interesting thing we got going on in here is this little plant that Dean made me. He calls it the goldfish plant. It's been in his family since, I don't know, like 50 years. But it is making some like new fronds or new leaves. Got any good roots coming through yet? Doesn't look like it. But this is just a floating like hydroponic pot. I don't even know where he got it. But it does look like there's like new growth on it though. So I'm hoping it'll keep working. It's getting some natural sunlight plus our lights. You can see the sunlight will come in down through there sometimes. And yeah, it's kind of a fun thing. I made a video today actually, the day I'm filming this, about how all aquariums are basically an experiment. For instance, you can see this right here is covered in algae. Like what makes that happen here, but then totally doesn't happen over in that pond where we also had it, right? So it's just different. Even though they're all the same, they all got set up at the same time, same auto water change. Like, yeah, there is some different fish, but it's kind of weird how that works. In here we just have the teacup platies. These are one of my favorite fish to play with. You can see the mulm kind of building up on the bottom. You can just see all, well, I don't know if the camera will focus on it, but all the squiggly fish poop, basically. I really like these guys. I can't wait till I have like a few hundred of them. These are the actual blue swordtails. And I'll see if I can get a net and show you some of it, what I'm looking at here. Let me grab one of these nets. Wow, look how red this shrimp is. The shrimp in this, a lot of these shrimp are really good. I've been culling some of the shrimp that, God, look at this. They just want to eat on me already. I've been culling a lot of the shrimp that aren't super red so I can get my strain to be like I like it. These guys are so fast. We'll see if any of them let me catch them. Yeah, probably not. Let me see here. One-handed netting is the worst. If you haven't seen my video on how to catch fish, let's see if I can get any of these. So like this fish right here, let me get it so you can see the side of it. So you can start seeing some of the blue and some of the orange or red. So you see it's got a little bit of the orange on the bottom, but this is a second generation, so this is one of the babies. And I need some of the new generations to keep working on the blue. You can see some of the blue sheen in there. This is just a female, big girl here, pretty girthy. And you can see all that blue sheen, but you still see a little bit of the orange accents. And then you see how there's more orange on this side. So she made the pass, because right now she's still one of the best fish I have for blue and orange. So she stays and can make more babies while we're, I'm doing this with one tote. I should be using like 7 or 8 totes to really make a blue one, and I got these from Carl Trochu, who is one of the most amazing Livebearer breeders in my opinion. I want to get this white one so I can take a look at it. It's coloring up differently than it was when I sorted it. This is a fish that could be worth splitting out again as opposed to letting it stay in this tote. So you can see this fish is almost like melanistic, or you can see the blue sheen on it though. There's that black on the bottom, which is weird. But interesting fish. Black eye too. So, put you back in, buddy. So yeah, that's focusing on why I'm just playing with those guys. They might be something cool in 2 or 3 years. And you gotta remember, so like all that blue, I guess we'll take the net over here real quick so that way we can look. But all that blue came from, well, the fish in here. All these fish in here at this point are from those same genes. So the same adults, and so even the ones that are bright red. So that just kind of shows you some of the genetics that come into play. The male is pretty cool. Let's see if I can get that big male to come over. Probably not. This is another. This would be maybe if I can catch this big female, I could show you what I will sell off because it's too much red if I'm going for blue. I know you're getting all reflection right now. I'm trying to handle her gently. See, but she's a nice big fish, kind of a lot of orange. And there's more orange on this side too. So she didn't quite make the cut. I had to cull. This is what culling is for me. I just sell the other ones at the store. You can see that big gravid spot, so the big black dot down here. She's full of babies again. She'll have more babies, and someone will be excited to get this fish. You can also see the anal fin down here is a triangle. That's how you know it's a girl, outside of just being fat. That's a triangle instead of a gonopodium or a stick-like shape. Let's see if I can get the males. I'm gonna put the camera down for a second and see if I can catch a male. It's not the easiest thing to do. I think there we are. I realize I'm still only using one hand, even though I said I was gonna use two. Just so happened to let me grab them. I think that's actually one of the juveniles, but show you what the males kind of look like here. There we go. So something like that. You can see this is a young male, and he won't get nearly as big as the females because he got his tail early. So a lot of juveniles that grow up, they will look like a female, but then they'll grow that sword later in life, and that'll be your biggest, best breeder males. I think I might have actually kept the male in this other, because I was afraid if I don't have any males, the new females I want to use wouldn't get pregnant. Yeah, I realize I'm cross-contaminating, but this is the same pot minus that one other fish, which I realize I could pay dearly for it. But yeah, you're right there. We're so quick. They're getting agitated. They're getting more fearful. They've been played with enough for today, so I'll just feed them and pull this back out. But yeah, so you guys got a little bit better of a look at, some of the, the blue swordtails that used to be really popular on Aquabid and stuff. They kind of disappeared. They never really bred true though. Feed them some more. I don't know if I already fed them. If we did, take another meal. And you can see these are all the Vienna guppies here. You'll see some kind of, so this is what I guess what I call when I say like a whale of a guppy. These guys will be easier to catch here. So when I say a whale of a guppy, and I realize I use the same net, I don't really stress about that in my own fish farm. But when I say a whale, it'll be, guppies like this, where they're just nice and fat, and you can get more body girth on them and everything. But yeah, I took out 90% of the boys out of here so that I could get hopefully the tail shapes I wanted, and I would get more babies. Like these babies right here, the tiniest ones, wouldn't have survived if I had another 30 or 40 males in there. By the way, I guess I've been leaking this the whole time. This is going to be our new net that we'll ship, I don't know, hopefully soon. I don't know about when the time this video comes out, within the next 2 months, but it's all made out of plastic, and it can lift heavy fish, and it's super, so instead of being metal and bendy, it's not, and you actually put it together, so it ships, it'll ship deconstructed. We've been using them for a while, I've been testing them for a while, and I really like them. They're coarse, so that they don't, go slow through the water. We've got like a nano size here, this little nano net. It's just super sturdy. I was tired of nets that bend, and I wanted stuff that was like kind of tactile and for really catching fish. So there's that big size, that small size. You can see there's a medium size there. I think we have 4 sizes. I think it's these 4. So, they'll be coming soon. So if you don't own fish nets yet, or you're looking for better fish nets, hopefully you'll enjoy these ones like we do. So that's these 3 sizes. And then the big one that we've been using right here. And I've chosen handle lengths based on what size tank people will be using them. And like these are really nice for shrimp. I've been using these for shrimp a lot. Like if you want to catch, just your super red shrimp, you just come in underneath them and you just lift up, and now you got your shrimp, and you can move it, well, wherever you want. I really got to clean up my mess over here, but we're not done building, so it's all these tools and parts. I need to set this up to film, this is going to be a mobile, like instead of me holding it, I'd be kind of moving it to a tank and I could live stream from it. Here we've got tons of the super reds from Randy that I need to pair up. And there's lots of boys and girls. We'll be able to make a lot of them here. I need to get caves. Plecos will eat almost anything. They'll eat flake food. They'll eat, you know, they get bloodworms and that kind of stuff too. So, but they'll eat almost anything, honestly. We got going on over here. Turtles ate one of the body. There's still one in there. So my humidity problem is higher than I would like. We're at 51%, and I bought another gauge just to make sure. I haven't actually calibrated either one, so they both could be off. But I suspect that I've got more humidity than I want, and I'll end up putting a dehumidifier in here, which I already have one. I've got the commercial-sized one up there, and then I've got a heat exchanger also. So I haven't noticed any mold, or it doesn't even feel real muggy in here or anything. So these guys are some electric blue Acaras. I just caught out the largest male today. So what I like to do, I sent it home with my business partner actually. What I like to do is remove the biggest males, so I end up with like just one male and a bunch of girls. So he was getting the lion's share of food, and you can see he was always, you know, kind of neglecting, you know, some of these guys to get the food they needed. I'll come back and feed these guys. Well, I'll do it right now actually. We'll grab the specialized food. I gotta set up all my brine shrimp hatcheries. They just came off the wall at the old place. But we hop here into the freezer. We'll do bloodworms as we've been doing brine shrimp before that. We'll give them like a couple of cubes in addition to that. Got to put some size on these guys, hopefully breed them soon. They should be about mature enough. I want to get auto feeders going on them. Then over here, it's all glare. Let's see if I can. Well, there's a few babies in there, plus the adults. So this is the reason. Oh, I gotta open the handle. I hate having, or I have to. I'm filming too often, so. But I hate having black substrate because you end up with substrate that looks like this. Like all these aquariums are fed the same, except that looks super dirty. This one not so dirty. I apologize, this is blowing on us, the heater, so it's probably messing up the audio. But yeah, it's irritating. Guppy grass is in here. That's what all this is, in case you're wondering what that plant is. These are the original kind of orange mollies that I had. Just been feeding them and let them do their thing. Over here, we have Spoon. Spoon never comes out for me during the day, so you guys probably won't see him unless I move him. But he gets bloodworms also, one of the specialized feeders. He'll eat those in a little bit. Come on out, Spoon. He says, "Oh, I hate the light. How could you?" He'll be going in the 230 gallon, most likely. Lots of shrimp here. Somehow orange and red shrimp got mixed. I've been pulling out the best orange and feeding things that need to be coals, like that one right there needs to be a coal because he's more of a orange really shrimp. And so I just feed them again to the turtles over here. You can see one of the turtles grab the other little platy body. I usually just grab some of these little snails, and they're great calcium. And the turtles will crunch them down and eat them, which is good. You can kind of see how much food I go through. Like this was basically full when I started. Over here, this is where we put some of the orange shrimp. You can see one on the leaf right there. And again, you can see so much poop in here, and it looks just bad in comparison. That's why I usually don't do a lot of black substrate. I just don't like that look. You can see the sponge is even clean. It's just not the look I look for. Now these are all the Aspiodorus cories. Got a big group of them. They're getting big bellies, you see, so they haven't eaten yet today. But you can probably see some of them have nice big bellies, so they should be ready to breed soon. So I just keep feeding them, and I love watching them kind of school back and forth. These guys usually get some of the small food and then some bloodworms for the like the whiptails basically that we brought back from Peru. Over in here, I got some of the best guppies in the world again. That's what I call them anyway, if they focus. I got from Michael's Fish Room. He's a YouTuber. He's got a .com. I paid for him, not sponsored. And hopefully they'll kick out some babies because I really like this fish. I need more cover in there. Hopefully you can see there's algae on everything. Seasoned tank. I want to make sure they would do okay. Over here we've got the tiger shrimp. Not very happy with them. They're not as good a quality as the ones I had 10 plus years ago. So I keep feeding them and hopefully they'll... Oh, I also put scuds in here. I haven't seen them since I put them in, but I put scuds in because I want to see how they do in the better water, but I haven't spent enough time to hunt them down. Just a bare tank right here. Ugh. But it'll be good if I want to get like some hillstream loaches or something, or autos. We'll clean that right up. I brought the Xiphophorus eel. We'll see if we can watch him eat. I need more sand too, but some little rummy nose. Definitely got a covered top because this guy will hop out in a heartbeat. So I'll put a little bit of food in there. I'll give this guy some snacks. I'll watch for him because I really enjoy watching him. He's going to go in the 230 gallon with the ghost knife and the other secret fish. I just do this when I want bloodworms to dissolve. And you get all the worms coming down. This is what I do a lot of times when I'm trying to fatten up tetras and all kinds of stuff. I know there's another one in here, I just don't know where it went. But underneath here, under these sound panels, if I pull this back, you can actually see there's 4 of them down there, but those 2 are hooked up. Those are the LA 45Cs that we sell, and I've got that ginormous one right over there and a smaller one right there. That thing was way too loud. These two in conjunction, one almost did it. One almost did everything, but it wouldn't power the 800 gallon, so I added the second one, and it runs all the aquariums all the way down, and then it runs all of these totes plus the 800 gallon. So one will do everything but the 800 gallon. I add the second one on for extra pressure, and but it runs pretty darn quiet in comparison. This guy will not come out over here. Oh, and we just did this with magnets, by the way. So magnets on these gladiator stands, and it just clips into place. There we go. Come on out, buddy. I know you're hungry. This is what I worry about fish this fish took me 8 years to get again after my first moo puffer accidentally took a bite out of one. I'll back up a little bit. We'll see if me backing up enough will get him to come out. Such a scaredy cat. We gotta think of a good name for him. Oh, there he goes. He's starting to eat now. This is why plants are so important in an aquarium. If I had plants up front, he wouldn't notice the camera, wouldn't notice me. He would eat, he'd be more robust. So that's why I put a little bit of plants in there to start growing. But I know he won't live here full time. I wonder if I can zoom in. Does this camera have the ability to zoom in? Yeah, it does. Slowly zooming. In the old 125, you would just come out and nom those bloodworms easy, but there's a lot more of Vallisneria. What's cool about this guy, he only gets about 18 inches and he doesn't get much more around, so he's real slender and he's peaceful. He won't eat tetras and stuff because he's got a real small mouth. But he was over $200 plus shipping, so they're from Lake Tanganyika, where some of the African cichlids come from, called an Xiphophorus eel. I can't wait to watch this guy in the black ghost knife eat bloodworms. You can kind of see he behaves like a black ghost knife where he pulls in backwards. Little pectoral fins. They're more like a snake than they are a fish. Once he finishes eating those close, he'll probably go for the big glob. You can see him turn around, he's going out the other side. So this is where I really focus on creating an environment for a fish, because like you can see that he was like, okay, I'll feel safe if I come and eat over here. It's safer. So fish really are utilizing their habitat like this. And so all the difference in the world. Like maybe he's eating better now that I turned his cave versus the way it was before. Or maybe he doesn't like it like this and he'll turn it around again, because it was like this originally, he turned it. But the more plants that we can put in and the more decorations, like right now, like I'm not going to put this cave in, you know, this ABS cave in the 230, but for right now it's a good home. We use them in quarantine at the store and stuff. Oh, too scary, gotta run. Out the other side again, that's funny. But, you know, he's a great fish. It'll be a good, especially once it gets bigger and more comfortable again. He was super comfortable until we moved him. And that's one of the big things. When you're moving fish from tank to tank or you do a major remodel, the fish need time. If I get close again, is he gonna run? No, he's doing all right. They need time to adjust. So you guys can see how long it took me to just feed, basically. Here, I'll put some frozen bloodworms in for these guys. See if we can get the turtles to come eat on camera. They're pretty shy. There's that yellow lab cichlid. That yellow lab wasn't doing very well. I was getting beat up by his tank mates, so I put him in here going, well, you can get better, or you can go. Now he's good. I can try putting him back in. Here comes the turtle. It's on the hunt. They never do what I want them to do while they're on camera, I swear. That big glare doesn't help either while we're waiting for those guys. Feed these guys some bloodworms like we said we would. And this is where the turtle egg is. I need to set up the incubator. I have no idea if the egg is viable or not. Hopefully, I'll make a little baby turtle. Because a lot of you guys haven't seen baby turtles in like years, and they're the cutest things on the planet. So once these bloodworms sink, they'll definitely grab them if they. I know that. Oh, here it goes. Nope, we saw the camera. It's so funny when you watch the animals see the camera and they're like, nope, 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 nope. Oh, there's that one. You can see the one on top there. He's gonna chomp that whole thing. These turtles are kind of brutal. Like if they bite each other's feet, they don't let go for like a couple of minutes, and you can't pull them apart. You just got to let them realize, like, hey, that's a turtle foot, not food, buddy. You know, this video, as you guys know, has been 40-some minutes, 48 minutes already. It normally takes me about 20 minutes if I'm not showing anything off to feed, so it's not that long. Put these frozen bloodworms back in. They've already thawed a little bit, which is not optimal. You can see what else I've got here. I've got freeze-dried brine shrimp, some ice cubes because my thing got clogged up once, and some Cyclops. I've got Ladybird's clams right here. I gotta order more clams from the store, or go get some, I mean. Let's do MTV Cribs. What's in Corey's fridge? Oh, we've got water. We've got candy because Dean always brings candy, and I bought him candy because he basically works for candy. And then I have some Diet Cokes and some cheese and salami. I set up ping pong so I can train to get a little better, so I don't lose to Bob every time. Alright, so I got to feed. I'm going to set this down for a second. So I got to feed. So these are the Rosy Barbs. Still not full grown or anything, but you can start to see some of their fins coming in looking pretty cool. But they will mob Ladybird's food. And so, ooh, I know one thing I'm going to do. Once I'm done feeding these guys, we're going to move a Pleco in here. Because I've been trying to move a Pleco in here for 3 weeks to eat this algae. And I always go, yeah, tomorrow I'll do it. Yeah, tomorrow I'll do it. And I haven't been doing it, so. Maybe more than that, but we'll see if she'll do it on camera. All right, Ladybird, don't be afraid of the camera. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Nice. She's usually too afraid. This is good. You can see the Rosy Barbs. They're like, hey, I'd eat some of that. And it can be a problem. The first couple of weeks she wouldn't eat because she was too afraid of the Rosy Barbs. Will you let us... I'm going to try to film you eating that last one. Are you going to let me? Good girl. You can see her one tooth. She broke the other one. Give her a few more because she's not quite done eating yet. But if she got spooked from the camera, I don't want a bunch of rotting clams in there. And then we're going to get that Pleco. The super red. I just need these plants to start spreading more. You can see they're filling out the pots a ton, and you can see a few little sprigs here and there. You can see it spreading over here a little bit. I don't know if it's, and you can see that big one right there. I don't know if it's not quite enough light. We haven't installed, we're thinking maybe another row of lights to go across, because right now, I'll show you on the side, it only lights up the back. Oh, let me get out of the way. The AC is going on in this room. But you see how the light is basically on the back third or half. Yeah, back third. So we're thinking maybe if we get another lights going there, it'll light up the front more. But got that natural light, which is causing algae, and you can see it on the side there. So it's, don't know 100% yet. You can see that's the NERM sign over there, which if you're watching this long, I'll do a public service announcement. If you're watching this long, and you haven't become a member, and you can afford it. I totally get it if you can't afford it. I understand that 500%, and I'm not calling anybody out. But if you really like this longer form content and all that kind of stuff, you want to see, let's sit on ping pong balls, and you want to see a lot more cool stuff, we've hired, ooh, it's a good spot, right here. Hired a community manager, which they're going to work on in-person events, online speakers. It will only be for like memberships and that kind of stuff. There's more perks coming, more ways to connect with you. I don't want to spoil it because I don't want some other YouTuber to like steal it and be like, look, we did it first. That's not cool. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff coming. We've invested. It's kind of the biggest thing we got going. We develop products, but I was like, okay, we're doing pretty good at that. What are we going to do now? And now it's grow the biggest like online club and community for fish that has ever been seen. And so if you're international, I get it. You're going, I can't buy anything from you, this and that. Don't worry. We're putting in perks. We're targeting that specifically so everyone can get a piece of it. That's why a speaker works for everyone. We're doing more events. Like right now I'm trying to schedule one for Australia. And right now it looks like we can't fly in this year, so it might be in 2022. We've got one going in the UK. We're looking at California. We're looking at Florida. We're looking at other states too. Like not just those states, because people are like, well, I don't live there. Like I really want to be like, hey, Wisconsin, what's up? Hey, Nebraska, what are you doing? And start doing these smaller events, but they're only going to be open to people that are members. Because it's not that I don't want to do a big event. It's that I'd much rather have 100 fans and us all go out to dinner, have a good time, put on a presentation, maybe bring some stuff for free, all that kind of stuff, than a big event where I shake someone's hand 7,000 times in the span of a weekend but not get that deeper level connection. So if you guys are, if you enjoy this long format stuff and you want to see, more Dean, one of the things I talked about my business partner, I was like, hey, one of these days I want to do a podcast, or not a podcast, but a live stream for the members with you and me, so they can get to know like who's the other 25% owner of Aquarium Co-op, and did he think it was crazy to invest in this, and what does he think of it now, and let you guys ask those kind of questions. And also got some trips planned for everybody really that hopefully I'll be traveling and filming cool stuff again with Chris Lukup, the Shrimp King. He's with a new company now that should allow him to travel a little more, and I'm just jones into travel and see cool things. That's really what I'm passionate about at this point. It's like, yeah, do my own thing, but the filler videos, I've had to do filler videos for like 18 months now. And what a filler video is, that's like a top 5, a top 10, that's, you know, that kind of stuff, where I'd much rather go, hey, let's go ask an expert, let's go see a facility, let's go let me do things, instead of like, well, you know, I haven't done enough in the fish room to show off yet, I haven't done this yet, I haven't done that yet, and you know, so I want to go collecting some more, both in Peru, Florida, all kinds of places. Yeah, and so don't worry, like if you're not going to become a member, that's fine too. We're never going to take content away from the main channel. It'll just be more stuff like this maybe. Like if you guys really like this content, you got to share it and like it and leave a comment. Because if the algorithm doesn't pick up something like this hour-long video, we won't do more, because it's going to take a long time for Jimmy to edit and put in little tweaks and do all of that. And if the algorithm doesn't like it, we basically get punished for doing this video, and no one likes to go to work and get punished, right? So if you guys like it, the more you do, the more you share, like, leave a comment, come back and, you know, have a conversation, do all of those things, signals the algorithm that, hey, we like this content, and then I'll do more of it. Because I have to do it either way. Like I got to feed my fish. We're gonna move that fish right now. So I've got to do it either way, but you saw it being a little bit harder with a camera and all that, so, you know. Let's grab this food, and I gotta set this down at least. Get this sealed up. Fiber bites. I love that food. You saw me using the extreme food. I'll show you on camera, and these are just ocean nutrition clams on the half shell. Put these back in the freezer. By the way, this is the little hanger thing that Dean made me to hang my brine tape. We'll probably hang it, you know, does it go here? It probably goes on the other side, really. And then you just hang. This just hangs like this. Just slides right on. So that would be hanging on the wall, you know, something like that. Obviously there'd be an air pump and water and that kind of stuff, but soon to come. All right, let's catch a bristlenose real quick like. Who is the lucky 800-gallon winner? Let's grab this stupid big male if we can, because he might be hard on the ladies when he's breeding anyway, and he might be not a good breeder being old. We don't know. I don't know how old he is because he came from Andy's house. So these originally, so what I like to do a lot of times, I gave him all the ones I had because I didn't have time to breed them. He's been breeding them for the last 2 years, and now he brought me a bunch, and he's brought the store a bunch. You can see how beefy this guy is. But yeah, that's... Oh, and there's a red shrimp in there. All right, shrimp, you need to get out or you're going to get murdered by Ladybird probably. There you go. All right, let's take this over. I'm going to have to set the camera down real quick to use 2 hands to get it into the tank, but hopefully you guys will see in the next video that we shoot that he's cleaned all this up. Now Ladybird, don't go after you. Ate, you should be good. Don't go after this guy. There we go. All right, he's in. And this is a he. You can see his big bristles. Next time you won't have to look at that algae. That's right here. I did buy some sound deadening panels or pads for this FX6. I really do hate canister filters. I'm really thinking about changing the whole filtration system, even though I've got another FX6 right here that we're going to install on this side. The humming is horrible for filming. You can hear right now my alarm's going off because it's been an hour. So that's an hour in the fish room. It goes by that quick for me. But a lot of times I don't get that hour that I want. And so I'm making a dedicated effort. Boom, 60 minutes done. if you guys, want to join me in that challenge, the challenge is spend an hour like with your fish working on them. A lot of you guys were like, well, my fish are in my bedroom or I'm in my living room all the time. Sure, that's a thing. Like if you sat down and had to watch that ellipsis reel to make it eat, that's working with your fish. Sorting the fish for coloration if you're breeding for color. Making sure that guy ate. We moved fish. We only moved the one. It's really hard to move fish on camera if you don't have someone filming. But all of those things, we moved a plant, right? We cut up, when we pinched a plant, we moved it, we propagated. All of those things are what I'm talking about. Get your hands wet multiple times. Hands are wet, in the water. Even if you have one aquarium a day, well, you can make it like a highly aquascape tank. People spend an hour a day manicuring the lawn and like, oh, let's get a little bit of algae there. Let me do a little bit of research. You could be sitting right next to your tank going, how do I fix that? I know that I get a lot done in an hour typically if I don't have to film. I mean, I got feeding done basically this time, but it's been a good outlet of like, I'm going to go spend an hour. Because before it was like, I'm going to go feed my fish. You're in and out in 20 minutes. Now it's like, okay, I've got an hour on the clock, boom. And then if I finish feeding, it's like, okay, what am I going to do now? I'm going to tackle this. Like I thought today in this video, I might clean up all the stuff on that table, but we've got more plumbing to do. We've got some more stuff to do. It's like, if I put it away, we're just going to drag it back out. And I think your hobby will just kind of level up and you'll get a better appreciation. I enjoyed these old school videos. Hopefully, if it does well, then we'll make more of them. If not, maybe we'll make them some members only content from time to time. But thanks for watching, guys. I know it's been an hour. Hopefully you joined that 1 hour challenge. And if you do it all summer long, I promise you, your hobby will be completely different by September. If you do it the next 3 months, give it 3 months of an hour a day. You can do a lot with 90 hours in a fish room. You can basically build a fish room in that if it's not too big. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, honestly.